Hi, this is Mr. Bruning and your ninth grade team to help you understand how grading in the platform works. Grades are year long. Anything seen in Power School is just a snapshot in time. This will happen 4 times throughout the year, quarterly, and so you'll get something soon for first quarter and second quarter and third quarter, but the only one that matters is fourth quarter at the end of the year. Grades are not averaged. We take your best work when you do that work for your cog skills, and then we use that for your whole grade.
For English, social studies, and science, your grades are based on 70% coming from projects and 30% coming from focus areas. The reason why many of you don't have a grade right now is because you do not have a project that has been graded. When you do have a project that has been graded, you will see your score on the cognitive skills that were assessed on that project. Also, notice that for your power focus areas and your additional focus areas, that also affects your grade by 30%. If you are on pace for power focus areas, you will get a 21% of that grade, that's 100%. However, if you don't complete any additional focus areas, you will not get the 9%. So only 21% of that 30% will be counted towards your grade.
All right, the next one we're going to look at is math because math is a little bit different. In math class right now, you've been working through your power focus areas right here. You also have the additional focus areas. It's the same idea. 21% of your grade comes from these power focus areas. 9% comes from the additional focus areas. So with those additionals, if you don't do any additionals and you get 100% on everything else, the highest grade that you can possibly earn is going to be a 91%. Just be aware that if you do the additionals at the beginning of the year and don't do them at the end of the year, you may see a drop in your percentage. Because like right now for this person, if they would have completed just this first additional, they would have had 100% of the ones that had to be completed already done. So they'd have an additional 9% on their grade. Whereas if they don't do any of the other ones, now we're going to see a drop in that grade at the end of the year because each one of those, if there's 5 of them, is worth just shy of 2%. So just kind of keep that in mind. Up at the top here, you have your projects or concept units. The thing that's a little different with math, remember, is that your projects are only worth 30% of your grade. Concept units are worth 40%. In math this year, you will only have 2 projects that you will have for the midterm and the final at the end of the year, and the rest are going to be concept units. The grades on these concept units are graded, remember, on these performance tasks. When you are getting a grade on that performance task, it's kind of the same idea as your cog skills, but you are being graded on a math concept. So this one, for example, would be graded on creating equations, represent graphically, and solving equations. You would get a grade on each one of those things. If you look in your progress then for math, these are your math concept grades. It's the same idea, except the numbers here are a little bit different. So in math for your concepts, a 3 is a 70%, and then it kind of goes up from there. So you have to get at least a 3 on those performance tasks. Another thing to remember with the performance task is you can always do a retake on that performance task. So if you take it the first time and don't do so well, we can work on coming up with a strategy to get you ready to take a retake. Your cog skills will be down here. You will not have any cog skills until that end of the first semester for your midterm in probably January. Next, we are going to talk a little bit about the colors on your year screen.
Hey there, so I'm just going to quickly go over any of the colors you might see on your year screen. First, we're going to take a look at what you might see in a focus area. So these are those bottom 2 areas here. So if you were to see a focus area with a red outline, that just means you've probably attempted the content assessment and achieved a 5 out of 10 or lower. This is just letting you know this focus area still needs some attention from you and or is late by means of the blue line pacing. A yellow filled in focus area is going to mean that you have scored a 6 or a 7 out of 10 and that this area you're doing really well. You're making some great progress in it, but it still needs to be mastered and just still needs your attention. Obviously, the green means that it's mastered and you are good to go. This is what is called the white outline. That just means it's a focus area you haven't attempted yet. For your projects, if you look at a project and if you see a red outline on a project, what that means, it's a couple of things. First, it could mean that a checkpoint within that project has received feedback of stop and revise. That means part of this project desperately needs your attention. This could also mean that the project is late and is not submitted. If you see a yellow outline, kind of like what you see here, this too means that a checkpoint within the project has received yellow feedback. Yellow means check your feedback. It means your teacher has written something in there that you need to take a look at and need to improve on in the next checkpoint. Again, the white outline just means that you have not started this project. It doesn't need your attention immediately. If you see the project filled in with a light purple, that means you have submitted your final products and you are waiting for grading. If you see a project filled in with dark purple, that means, again, that you have submitted your project. The dark purple means your teacher has submitted her grades, his or her grades, for you to review. Again, a red box on a project means that that project is unsubmitted and is now late.
Hi, Mr. Bruning back again. I'd like to help you understand how your COG score is calculated. Remember that this is all based on your best work, not your an average of your scores. So you can see here on our friend Tiffany O that on some of these scores here, her best score she got on something was a 5.5. Had she got something lower, that score would be omitted and not used in the calculation of her grade. So her COG score grade for the 70% is an average of all of these numbers, and you can see here that she's doing quite well. I'm sure you may have some questions about this at some point. You are quite capable of going through the platform and looking up how is my grade calculated. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. And if that still doesn't answer your question, please see any one of the 9th grade team members and we would enjoy helping you.